We are from Spain, and I'm Claudia. I'm a graphic designer.
And I'm Jonathan. I'm a graphic designer too.
We are a multidisciplinary studio, so we do like a lot of book design, web design, all sorts of stuff, but we are like specialized in creating visual identities.
UCA stands for the University for the Creative Arts in England. And they approached us because they wanted to develop their old identity, but we ended up making a whole new identity for them because they looked more like a garden center or something like that. In their meetings, they kept saying that they wanted to be creating and making things. So we thought, how can we translate that into a graphic approach, into an identity? We based it on a stencil. The logo comes in 3 different versions, and they can all be used separately because they got the line from the stencil. And we used fluorescent colors because at that time they really stood out because of that, and together with the bold graphics. So first year it was flat, it was based on the lines, and the second year it became more complicated and more complex. And this year we wanted to make it 3-dimensional to give it a bit more graphic depth.
Visual identity can be flexible and is something that can grow over time. We kind of make a difference to branding. It always sounds a bit commercial, and we like to focus on like designing an impactful graphic approach, I guess.
It's a Spin magazine about typography. Adventures in Typography is our first title. And the idea is like to open up like the conversation about typography and how far you can push it. We really like to experiment, trying to create like a graphically impactful image. It should showcase a bit like the experimental approach Spin has. We also do a lot of physical experimentation, which usually you never see anywhere else. So that's a really good container to showcase that.
We are like a design studio. We are like interested in graphic design, typography, and grids and structures. And I think that goes a little bit too far into the technology area, where we want to spend our time designing and not thinking about technology too much.
Another project we would like to share with you guys is an art fair called Collect. It's an international art fair for contemporary objects held at the Saatchi Gallery in London. What stands out are these 2 L's. We thought like maybe we can do something with that. Could even like develop a typeface. So we had then like to boil it down to a logo. So it had like this flexibility. We also started to create these patterns, and they reminded us of like an abstract collection. We use animation most of the time for a little bit of simple movement, which can be very like enjoyable.
A part of it is also like the animation. That's also an exploration, like what we can do with the shapes, and so that's something that's interesting. Yeah.
Do you know Ministry of Sound? It's like a big record label in the UK and a nightclub, and we proposed this logo lockup for like their new identity. We thought it would be really cool if you don't have to stick to one logo. So here are all the iterations. Instead of rendering it out, how about more graphic approaches and sprayed on things? So we started to look at posters, and then we realized that actually you don't even need the M. If you want to, you can use only the brackets.
Sometimes it gets boring when it's all still. So we wanted to just like try and what happens when we do some simple animations with them.
Basically pushing us into like a direction which is outside of our comfort zone, and yes, so we have the possibility to learn and explore new things. Yeah.